It's a new year, it's kinda a new me, and more importantly, it's a new playtest. A new playtest that is here to allegedly fix the Infantry Combat Overhaul mechanics. But for the rest of this video, I'll be calling it the ICO, not ICO. We're getting changes to recoil, suppression, weapon handling and other bits and pieces, and I'm here to tell you guys what I honestly think of it and the direction things are heading in. But before we dive into that, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of the messages and comments showing love, support and appreciation on my last video. I'm still truly blown away by it now. If I haven't replied to your message or comment, I promise I will. There's just been a lot of them. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. But for now, let's get into the reason why you're watching this, and that's to do with the future of Squad. So this is the second playtest. The first test was over the Christmas period, and I didn't want to make a video on that one as I was waiting for this playtest, the second one, to get an idea of direction and where the developers want to go with this. The purpose behind all of this is to tame back and balance the ICO mechanics in an effort to make Squad more enjoyable, less taxing to play, and realistically help with player retention, especially in bringing the experienced players back into the game. They are very much parading around the fact that they want to hear all of our feedback, so if you guys haven't tried it out yet, please do so yourself. Just install the staging branch of Squad and have a feel for it, and then fill in the feedback forms, especially if you haven't played Squad for a long time. Now, I'm going to do my very best to be positive here, and so I will start with the good things. There's some new icons for various bits and bobs like RPG ammo in your heads-up display, and a really nifty one here that is genuinely a good little change is now your mag icons not only change colour whilst using them, but they show how empty they are as well. I know it's not a huge one, but I genuinely do like this change. It's a nifty little feature. Stamina has been tweaked as well. Yes, our soldiers have been doing a bit of cardio training, and it's starting to pay dividends. It doesn't drain as fast, meaning you can sprint. Well, no, it's more of a brisk jog. You can jog vigorously for a slightly longer distance, meaning moving around small parts of the map doesn't feel as taxing. And naturally, because stamina isn't drained as fast, a few of the mechanics attached to stamina have also seen marginal improvements as a result. And speaking of marginal improvements, ADS timing has been tweaked too. Although very inconsistent through the weaponry in Squad, the M4 with the ACOG is almost perfect. It's very snappy to come up, but it still has this strange wanderiness about it that makes the game feel really awkward and is a clear RNG factor, which is simply there just to be annoying and artificially slow things down. Iron sight weapons, however, they need a lot of love. Whilst some of the weapon blur around iron sights have been reduced, it's still not enough, making any iron sight with the old peephole rear post an absolute nightmare to use. They also take an eternity to bring up in comparison to optics, and there's a random point of the screen where the weapon comes to rest. So instead of coming up to the center of your screen like every other FPS on the market does, this one kinda hangs to the side. Why is my gun ADSing to the left? Why is my gun ADSing to the left? The only thing that I want to hang to the left is my penis. And I'm sat here, honestly, hoping and praying it's a bug. Because for someone to decide that this is a thing that people want is ludicrous. We don't want mechanics that make us second guess our FPS instincts. So yeah, bad OWI, bad. But unfortunately, that isn't even the start of it. Yeah, here we go again. Actually, no, wait. Before I start getting into this and tearing it apart, I will say that my performance, albeit only on Mutahar, Fallujah and Al-Basra, was absolutely fantastic. I'm playing at 4K resolution with TAA in its best settings and everything else set to high, and I was getting 90 FPS consistently, and it was very, very smooth. There was no texture popping whatsoever. In current Squad, I've got everything set to potato using DLSS on performance, and I can only just scrape 60. So yeah, I don't know if something's been done behind the scenes that they haven't told us about, but My performance was fantastic. But genuinely, that's where the good stuff for myself and many other who I spoke to ends. And this can be seen simply in the fact that the playtest server that was live only lasted for a handful of rounds. Now in the past, when playtests have been good, people have wanted to play that over squad, so the playtest server stays live for longer. This fell flat on its face, like many of the other poor playtests in the past. Now, OWI have made massive sweeping changes to Recoil that honestly makes no sense whatsoever. They have removed all vertical recoil past the 4th or 5th round, leaving your rifle so your guns shoot super flat. But it feels like horizontal hasn't been touched. Add into the fact that the bloom or aim cone, whatever you want to call it, is still dialed up to the max, horizontal recoil and spread is beyond a joke. To put things in perspective, vertical recoil has been reduced so much, mag dumping an MG3 is like handling the MP5 in current squad. Only it feels like the rifle is jumping around, vibrating and moving sideways more than your mother's favourite vibrator. You know the one I mean, the one that has to use the electrical safety cutoff switch at the wall because it uses so much power. The one she uses on OnlyFans, yeah, that's the one. It gets even more nonsensical when you switch to something like an Iron Sight AKM or the FAL. The weapon fires almost completely flat, but the weapon animation looks like it's been sped up dramatically and jumps around so much you lose sight of where your weapon is pointing. The rear of the weapon jumps around so much it's atrocious, and it needs taming dramatically. As for recoil itself on the whole, I honestly think the best weapon handling was pre-ICO squad. It was buttloads, and I mean buttloads of vertical recoil, but with very little sideways deviation. That way then the skill was back in the player's hand to control the vertical, but semi-auto rifles could follow up shots so smoothly and effectively. It was so much simpler back then, but so much more enjoyable. I always used to heap praise on squad back then for having gunplay that was fun, intuitive, engaging, but also manageable. Once you had a good amount of hours in squad and a good grip of things, it became more instinctive, so you could concentrate more on the tasks at hand, and that's what made squad so good. What we have now, and what this offering is, doesn't even get close to it. You can tell it's been engineered to be annoying, to make you struggle, to intentionally hinder the player. But the people don't want that. I certainly don't. I want to be able to trust my instincts. I want to fight other players, not fight in-game mechanics. So yeah, there's a lot of work to do in this department still. Like, don't get me wrong, this recoil offering is a lot easier, but it's too close to Call of Duty for my liking. Give us strong vertical recoil when fully auto, but little deviation like it was pre-ICO. The next major issue is the flinch mechanic. Yeah. It was supposedly broken during the first playtest, but this second one, it's not much different, and honestly, seeing this get pushed into a playtest makes me wonder if they really are listening to our feedback. Because no one, and I mean no one, asked for this. It is horrendous. And I'm not exaggerating this either. I haven't seen one person go, "Ooh, I like this." Features this off start highlighting a bit of disconnect between the developers and their own game because, I thought flinch in Squad 44 was the worst I'd ever experienced. But Squad, this is a whole new level. Flinching should be atmospheric. It should be for the first round or two. Hell, I'd accept it from a 50 cal or a 30 mic as it is, but to be forced into a full-blown epileptic fit because someone with an MG shoots within 30 meters of me for every single bullet, it's just plain wrong. And before any idiot pipes up going, "Oh well, it's trying to be more like Project Reality," it's nothing alike. I would snap off their hands for Project Reality suppression right now. Like, genuinely, I really would. Offworld, if you want to keep the flinch, it needs to be knocked back by like 90 to 95%. And make it only affect you for a handful of rounds. But this one single mechanic here will blow up in your face. It is single-handedly the worst mechanic I have ever witnessed and ever sampled in an FPS game. Ever. And I am not even joking. Other changes have been made to suppression effects, mainly blur and the likes, but it was very hard to get a good gauge of these changes due to the aim flinch, trying to make my squad be played on a vertical monitor. But one thing I did hear a lot of was people complaining of eye strain, headaches, and nausea. Honestly, it's just like when the ICO first came in, and blur has a lot to do with it. Think about it. You're sat in your room looking at a flat or maybe curved screen. Your eyes are already focused on that screen and what's inside it. To look at something that is near or far in that screen, your focus doesn't really have to change or change at all because it's on that screen. The minute things get blurred out, your eyes start sending signals to your brain it doesn't know what to do with. And as more blur gets introduced, your brain starts freaking out from these signals, so it tries to correct your vision, thinking, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, we can't see, fix it, fix it, fix it. So your eyes and brain go into overdrive trying to unblur the mess that's on the screen in front of you. Have that happen a few times per session and hey presto, you're gonna get a migraine. Now I took a break from playing squad for a few months and my headaches practically stopped overnight. And my eyesight actually got better. I wasn't straining as much and my eyes weren't as tired. I'm sorry Offworld, I said this during the ICO playtest and I'm saying it again now. These stupid mechanics are messing with people's eyes, brains, and as a result, health. It needs a workaround or it needs removing entirely. And we need to go back to the old suppression or find something new because blur it's just simply not the way. We need something in focus for our eyes to look at just to stop our brains trying to shut down. And that's all I really have to say on all of this. But what I do know is all of the feedback coming in, the players' reaction and stuff. I really hope OWI pay attention this time. But the biggest thing for me is this will be a real test for PMO and the leadership team on how they handle this and what direction it goes from there and how things are communicated. Because how this goes live will either make squads sink or swim. And right now, it's looking more like the Titanic. But what do you guys think to all of this? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to read every single one. Take care, and I'll catch you in my next video or my servers dead on dismount. Especially Invasion 2 Boogaloo, I like that one. Take care guys, good night.